What in the world?
Anyways, what's up, y'all? My name is Max,
I'm Madison.
and you are now watching not Into the Bloom. What a
What a
feeling!
feeling.
My God, sorry.
Wrong one.
Shameless plug. Anyways, I gotta upload more on there. Anyways, you are now watching What a Feeling. We are glad to have you here. I don't need to do that again. But anyways, I have a quick question for you, Madison.
Okay.
What are some movies that you watched over and over and over and over and over again?
Ooh.
Because I know there's a couple of them. I don't
Yeah.
really have any that I can think of.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really watch a ton of movies as a kid. I would say maybe more TV shows
Because I have ADHD.
for me. And
They
I
were
would
like
say,
comfort movies. Watch every
yeah,
night.
I watched. I remember being really obsessed of Sesame Street as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that was probably mine. That's
Elmo and like
instead of a
Grouchland or
movie.
something. What was it?
Elmo and who?
It was like Elmo and Grouchland. I might be
Grouch?
making that up.
No, that makes sense. There was a
But
Grouch in
there
there.
was a movie and it was so good.
What
Um,
is yours for you, for movie wise?
I have a few.
Hit me with them all.
The earliest one I remember was Ella Enchanted. I watched that one over and over and over. We would go to
Never seen it.
Blockbuster, and I would just re-rent it every
Bring back
single time.
Blockbuster. Bring it back. You really
My mom would
can't.
be like, "You want to
actually.
try something different?" No, you don't know how good this movie is, so yeah.
Fuego.
Then got a little weirder, and I watched Fred every night on my DVD player.
Yeah, that was probably a
Fred
scary
the movie.
stage.
Yeah, I don't know
It's an
what was wrong
interesting-
with me. But I loved that movie. John Cena was in it, and it was really good, funny.
I have
awesome.
seen that movie.
Yeah.
I have seen Fred.
Well, I've seen it 5,000 times.
Damn.
I'm just kidding, but it was literally every night. It was ridiculous.
Well, I don't blame you. Just
And
can't I do it.
then-
That's kind of insane.
As I got older, I was obsessed with Step Brothers for a while. I watched them all the time. It was
That's a really good movie.
a comfort movie. It was so funny. I think I just had to watch it all the time. And then like I always loved 50 First Dates too. But then I got older, I would watch it more and more and more. It's like
Yeah.
I didn't get sick of it. It's like I needed more of it.
It was an
So,
addiction. That was
I
her
love Adam
first.
Sandler.
That was her
Andrew
technically
Barrymore.
second date.
What?
That was her second date.
Yeah,
We
put
watched
50
that.
First Dates on.
Yep.
That was the night you asked me to be your girlfriend.
Yup.
Second date. I said, I'm going in for the kill.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, get you before anyone else did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Just Go With It was another one I watched. Another Adam Sandler movie with Jennifer
Mhm.
Aniston. Yeah, those were the main ones.
Yeah. Those are all good ones. Fred is a little interesting, but shout out Fred.
I want to talk about it.
Holy shit.
So don't talk about Fred.
He really was like, don't talk about Fred. Now be interested because I know the story, but I just want people to hear about the story
I think
because
I know what you're going to say.
because
but
it's
I
a
don't know.
fun story. Oh, Shorty's just gonna eat this pen. Anyways, Madison, I don't even need the notebook for this one. In middle school,
Oh, I knew it.
you did something, and I just want to hear about it.
It's kind of funny. I was in 8th grade. I'm not going to make it a super long story because it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But I was in 8th grade, and my group of friends at the time were like, we should all smoke weed.
What?
And I was like, okay, bet. We should. And then me and one of the girls in that group were like, how about we just do it tomorrow? Tomorrow morning. Here, at school.
Wake and bake, baby.
Here at school.
At the crib,
I
not
had-
at the crib.
I had PE first class. What is he doing?
He's throwing stuff around. He's getting mad up here.
I had PE first class in 8th grade or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So me and the girl planned that we were just going to do it in the locker room or right outside the door in the back of the locker room because it led to outside. Just stand outside with our little, like, pen-made thing.
And yeah,
I was seriously stupid. Seriously stupid. Anyway.
don't do that, kids.
No, anyway, we did it. I brought in the good stuff.
Yup.
And
From someone,
Yeah, I stole it from my dad,
allegedly.
allegedly. Where else was I getting weed from? Come
Anyway,
on. I think they
Yeah.
all probably knew, or
Yeah.
if not, then be for real.
came
I
from
was-
the pops.
Yeah, I just took a little something. He wouldn't even know. Something like this would be good for us. It wasn't good for us. Anyway, we kind of had a feeling like we were in trouble after we did it. Yeah, we went. We
Alrighty.
did it out the back door. Like we took like a couple of.
Yeah, and then what? Opened the door and just went.
How old are you in 8th grade? Like, what was wrong with me? It wasn't even my birthday yet that year either. So I was.
Oh God,
Gosh.
you're probably I don't know. You keep talking. I'll figure out how old you were.
Anyway, we basically immediately knew after we did it we were in deep shit.
And you're high.
In school, which you just shouldn't be. I don't know what was wrong with me. Like,
And you were Yeah.
I was doing
13 to
anything.
14.
I would do anything for a cool friend, or I'm not even gonna lie to you. In that friend group, there was a boy that I had a crush on entire middle school, and he was in that friend group, and I thought he's gonna think I'm so freaking cool after this.
It's like that one movie we watched.
He's gay now, by the way.
Holy shit.
I had a type. I was like,
You had a type for gays?
I like the
That's
men
not
who
good.
no, but like
I'm
I
not
like
your
men
type.
who had them like put together, like look nice, dress nice, but it was just feminine, I guess, whatever. He wasn't then. He was just middle school, whatever. Anyways, like Loki did it for him and the friend group to be cool, and then look at me. All of a sudden, the principal walks into the gym room as we're in there stinking up like freaking probably dope because of what we were doing.
Yup.
So embarrassing. What was wrong with me? And then the principal comes and grabs us each.
By the ears.
And because we knew we were in deep shit before that, like
Oh,
after
yeah.
we smoked and before she came to get us, like
You
we
were
were like,
already like plotting.
everyone kind of
what to
like was
say.
like looking at us like, what in the hell? Like we came in late to class and everything was stinking our weed. The back door, they probably had alarm cameras, whatever. And then me and the girl were like, okay, we're gonna tell her something about like our period or like a tampon or something. And we are like, okay, let's stick to this
Dude,
story.
what?
We got this. We're good. We're good. She
Not
separates
good.
our asses once we get back there, of course.
Oh, fuck. So you guys had to like.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
know, because I'm a real one, I stuck to the freaking tampon story.
Did she?
No,
Fuck.
I got suspended for 10 days. She got suspended for 5 days.
That's like a mini
Because
spring
I
break.
lied and she didn't lie and she tricked my ass, whatever. And I passed out. I fainted while talking to the principal as I'm filling out this whatever I did thing. Because I was just like
Fuck.
high in shock. Shit, like, I've never gotten in trouble once in my life. And the
Uh-huh.
first time I get in trouble for anything is smoking weed in the locker room. What's wrong with me? Like never went in detention. Never got even like a party or anything. Like nothing. Never got yelled at. Never told to be quiet. I was a quiet kid. Or yeah, I was a
Yeah.
quiet kid. So it was just weird for me. And I passed out from fear. And all of a sudden I'm getting put on a stretcher to the hospital because I fainted. And they thought I was laced with something, but I think I was literally just tripping.
Oh my god, imagine you were that kid. Or you were like that. You got laced.
Anyway, my grandma picked me up from the hospital and she acted like nothing happened. I love her. She was like, how was school? Oh, do you want to go make some like brownies or something? As I'm
Laced
sitting
with
there
weed.
lying to the nurse about how many puffs I took. She's like, how many puffs do you take? I'm like, a half of one. She's
Guess
like,
you were
well, from your urine, actually, it looks like you took more than just one. So you want to be
Yeah.
honest with me? 2?
This you took like
Whatever.
19.
I don't know what I did. I was like, we're beyond that point. Do you really need to know how many puffs I took, woman? Anyway.
I'm at the point where I fainted,
I think my
motherfucker. What are
grandma
you
probably
talking
took
about?
me home, stopped for friggin' ice cream or cookies or
what's
something,
up.
made cookies.
Kill that high.
Because she acted like nothing happened. And
And she covered for you.
can I just say that when I went back to school after the 10-day thing, that
Were you the
girl said
baddest
she
bitch?
wasn't allowed to talk to me anymore. I'm like, so you're gonna, first of all, how's your mom gonna know if you're talking to me? Second of all, you lied. You made me look stupid.
Yup.
Third of all, you're a bitch.
Even Shorty's pissed.
Anyways, that did happen. It was really embarrassing, and then I never like did anything bad ever again for a really long time because I didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah. Never did anything bad.
Did you find out how old did you say?
13 to 14.
Gosh,
So you said you never did anything bad. You were never like
no.
you never
No.
like started like a
Like
lunch fight, or like you never were
nothing.
like
I
were
had
never-
a clean slate until that moment.
so you were never
And
like
after that was the only bad thing I did. Can you believe it? It was all for like to be cool. Stupid.
so you were never like even tardy.
I mean, I
So
was probably late a few times, but it wasn't serious. Probably because my mom was like bringing me to school late or something.
Um,
Yeah, that was a lot.
next question,
I'm
y'all.
glad I could get that off my chest.
What is the pettiest reason you've ever been motivated to succeed?
If I'm gonna be completely honest with you here, it's something I never told you.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's almost kind of funny. It's not funny. Actually, it's not funny at all. When I moved to Lake Havasu,
Yeah.
I was 20 years old. This was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a boy there, and I met my first boyfriend. And he asked me to be his girlfriend after a couple weeks. And then the next morning, I woke up to texting that we were broken up. And that was my first boyfriend. So after that, I decided to start making every single friend I could there. Every girl was suddenly my friend, which was not like me at all. So that
Mhm.
was like my petty motivation too. And I became like, I don't know, more myself, and like I felt like more like a main character after that. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like fuck that. I'm going making every friend. I'm going to have the most fun time I've ever had here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It's probably the most petty I've ever been in my life. I was bowling with a couple of my buddies, Charlie, Moses, Andrew. I've talked about them before. Wrapping them back up into this. We were all bowling at this really weird kind of ghetto, cheap bowling alley because we were all like, we were all taking our
Mhm.
gap year, and so there was no one in this place. No not a single soul in this bowling alley. And there was like cosmic kind of like cool bowling stuff going on. And this lane that we were on kind of had like a little bump in the middle of the lane.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were throwing our bowling ball, and then it would go off this little bump and this little hump, and it would jump, and then it would hit the pins, and then it would like get glitched every single time. Like it would stop working every single time without fail. Like the arm would come down and would just
Oh.
get stuck. And so, but the dude at the bowling alley, when we kept going up to him and being like, "Dog, it's broken again," he was like, "I'm watching you guys. You guys are throwing it way too hard." And then I was like, "Bitch, what are you talking about? There's a literal giant mound, an anthill in the middle of the bowling lane. Like, what are you talking about? How? So even if I did throw it hard, guess what? That bitch is taking takeoff, flying, and then crashing."
Mm.
Out, I became like the most petty I've ever been because I was so dead set on this idea that I was right, and I was to this day. That basically because we were throwing it apparently way too hard and way too fast, I decided as he was standing right next to us to throw it as weakly as I possibly could, and it trickled all the way to the anthill and then rolled back down on the other side of the anthill, like on back on our side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just stood there and I looked at him, and yeah, and then we got kicked out. But
Oh,
to that day, and I was like, I flicked him off and called him a bitch and said every name in the book,
well,
but which is dumb because we're literally bowling. Anyways, though, the point of the story was I had confidence. I was motivated that I was so right,
yeah.
and I gained way more confidence. I finally found a voice in myself in
Because of that day?
because of that day,
That's funny.
and I talked back to that dude, and then I became as petty as possible, and I rolled that little bowling ball, and they got stuck, and then I stared at him, and then flicked him off, and then called him bitch, and then walked out.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, right. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Sometimes, and to that day, fuck that bowling alley. Um,
Honestly.
and speaking of kind of being petty, on the reverse side of it, people pleasing, what it really means. You have that written down. What's that mean? Where were you going with that?
I don't know. Should have thought about that one a little longer. I think basically I was just trying to say it's a lot deeper than we usually think it is. How do I word this? What do you think of when you like think people pleasing?
When I think of people pleasing and what it really means, I think it means that you're putting someone else instead of you first and putting
Mm-hmm.
your interests behind their interests. And so, like, for
Yeah, that
instance,
was a good way
right?
to word it. Yeah.
For instance, this is a really dumb kind of way for it, but
Mm-hmm.
in a way, say if you really like doing this one thing, right? Say if you really like painting, right? And you're painting by yourself, you really like do 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 do, and then you have a friend, right? And this friend is like, "Dog, I don't want to paint. Let's add some balls into that. Let's go paintballing," right? And this dude loves paintball,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, "I want to paintball every single fucking day from this time to this time, and you're my friend, so you're coming with me, and you're paintballing too,
Mm-hmm.
right?" But then, so to and you're right, you want to make this person happy, so you're gonna obviously go paintballing.
Right.
But over time, you're becoming a people pleaser because now you're putting your interest of paint and painting behind, and now you're putting paintball in front,
Yeah, that
right,
makes
with
sense.
your friend, right?
I get that
And
one.
so
Yeah.
I think that's what it really kind of means in
Mhm.
my head. Is kind of just putting someone's interests first besides yourself,
Right.
besides your own interests.
That's definitely a big one. I think also maybe trying to spare people's feelings is also a big part of it. Like, people pleasers say sorry a lot, even though they don't
Mhm.
always mean it. Like, bump into someone and you're like, sorry. Like, you could have just said, like, excuse me. Or something.
Yeah.
I guess, well, I guess that's a bad example, but you know what I mean. Like, if I ask you to go get me a Diet Coke and then I say sorry, like, why'd I say sorry?
Yeah.
Because I just feel bad for asking, or like, I don't want to, I don't know. I'm trying to
Mhm.
spare your, like, emotions, I guess, feelings. I don't want you to be mad or sad or anything. Not like you specifically would, but just because that's like how like my brain works.
Yeah. I get it.
Or
I'm
if
the
I'm
same
at
way.
work and I ask my coworker to do something, I'm like, can you do this? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. I always apologize like 10
Like that, I
times.
think that's another people pleasing thing. The tone you talk to people in,
Mm-hmm.
that's a
For
big
sure.
one. I don't know. Responding to like messages that you don't really have to.
For sure. Um, Another one would be if your soul, right? Your
Mhm.
soul, the little voice inside your head or whatever it is that is your soul, could leave a review of Earth, like a Yelp page. What would your soul say about Earth?
When does the good stuff happen?
It's like you're always
Slow and steady, I'd say. Short review.
You just say short and
For as of right now, that is my
Yeah.
review, short and steady. But I think later on, I'll probably give a better one once I get more information and experience.
all right. You ready for mine?
Yeah.
My review on Earth,
Yeah.
as in a Yelp review.
Yeah.
All right. This is my perspective of Earth over time. Earth. It's a big old globe in the sky, right? Big old planet. It's a very diverse, loving, but also hateful place. That is so. Earth is so crazy because there's so many like different, like diverse places, basically, right? And cultures. There's people still in like the Amazon and stuff that like wear like leaves on their private parts and like
Mm-hmm.
do that stuff right now as we're on our phones and talking on a podcast. Like there's so many diverse, crazy cultures and like ways to live, and so it's so diverse, but then also it's so, and there's so much love on this earth, and there's so much good, but then also there's so much bad and hateful, and that's almost like it's like the little angel and devil on your shoulder in a way, you know. And so I would say my long time review of Earth, or so far, would be a little of whatever I just said. I already forgot what I said. Um, I would just say that. I don't know. It's a diverse, good and bad,
Yeah, it
but
is.
I mainly have faith in people.
Yeah. Good review.
Yeah, I would say if we could all just be a little bit more competent, everything would be better.
I think we're all trying.
If we could all be a little bit more competent and compassionate,
Mm-hmm.
life would be better.
That, yeah, 100%.
What would you do if all the fears of it were removed?
Oh, it's like what would you do if you had no fear of what would happen? Basically?
Like if you had no fear anymore,
Yeah, at all.
life would be boring.
No, I'm saying like what specific thing would you do? Like I would say like just post even more boldly. I already am like pretty much, but I don't know. If I had no fears, probably crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a good idea.
Yeah, fear is a good thing. You're just kind of just like,
Some ways protects
know,
you.
it does protect you. Fear is there's a reason why if you go up super high and you
instinct.
look down, you're like, oh my God.
Exactly,
Yeah,
you feel
that's
it in your
instinct.
stomach.
There's a reason why if you see a tiger or a lion,
Right?
as a human, you're like, oh
The
shit.
reason why you cry when you're
I saw my
sad.
homie get eaten by that is a
Why you laugh when
Neanderthal
something's
or
funny.
whatever. Anyways, so if I didn't have fear, what would I do? Basically, is kind of the answer or the question. I would say, I don't know, maybe public speak more. I don't know how that would even be possible, but I would probably be, if I would probably have taken like a public speaking class and then probably would have been better at it, and then probably would have went to school and then did lectures and did all that stuff, and then blah 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 blah. Blah. But no, that shit sucks, and I don't want to do it.
I probably would have posted all my covers on YouTube as a kid because that was like the only thing stopping me.
Yeah, you got some
My mom's
banners.
MacBook's probably filled with them.
You got some banners. Certified banners.
Maybe that's a good thing I didn't.
Nah. Um, to go off on a completely different topic, you also wrote down invisible string theory.
Oh yeah, do you know what that is?
I think I do, but I need a refresher.
It's basically like the invisible string theory is like when someone's meant to be in your life, you pass them or like something that's close to them or has to do with them earlier in life or a few times before you meet them. Like, I don't know, it's a good one. I could just say like I have baby pictures of me wearing Lake Havasu City, whatever, and then years later I moved there.
Wait, what the fuck? You
And-
do?
Yeah. And then before I knew I was moving to Lake Havasu City, I was thrifting all the time, and I was in a thrift store and I saw a Lake Havasu City t-shirt, and it almost gave me like the push to be like, maybe I should try to move out there. And so I don't know, like things like that, or like I don't know, like someone in your childhood photo that you didn't know, and then years later you're friends, like stuff like that is like the invisible string theory to me. If that makes
I get
sense.
what you're saying. I just had a brain connection.
Or like say like you meet a
yeah,
friend and you're like,
everything's
oh my god,
connected.
our moms were best friends 20 years ago.
Yeah, I get
Something like that. It
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be that deep. It could be like a light thing.
it.
you
No,
know?
it's really weird. In a way, I think almost. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in a way it almost is like small world. Almost like when you meet someone, like say if you're really far away, and then say like,
It really
someone
isn't a
sit-
small world.
and then someone sitting next to you is also, you're like, hey, you look over and they're also wearing like a, say like a Duluth t-shirt or something like that, would that be classified as like the same thing? Because you're just like, say if I'm in like Iceland and then I look to my right and the dude is wearing a
Oh, I mean, kind
Minnesota
of.
t-shirt.
To me, it's more of like people that you have connections with, like friends and anyone really you connect with. It doesn't even have to be someone close to you. You're like, wait, we met or
Mm-hmm.
something like about you like a long time ago. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like we were supposed to meet or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it be. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I believe in it though. It makes
Right?
sense to me. I'm trying to think of some examples I have of it. I don't have anything that crazy like you do. Of I was wearing this T-shirt and I was moved there, but
I know, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything kind of crazy like that.
I think I probably have more. I just can't think of it right now.
I probably do. I have some probably in my brain right now. I just can't pull them out of the file cabinet in there. But
I believe it. I think it's more like nothing's a coincidence than
no, nothing is a coincidence. I
it's
know
yeah.
that.
So it's cool.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna read it off because I want to answer this too.
Basically, the I was just thinking the people in my life and me also that like didn't like church growing up. Maybe they were more like spiritual because I don't know. To me, going to church, I didn't hate it, but I never really liked it. It felt really like weird. I felt like it was like a play. Like it just felt off to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe in God, and I did too then. But like something about like church itself, I don't know. I think it's a little bit different than what they put on for show there. But I don't know. I think maybe that's why some people don't totally get into it. It's not for them, and they don't totally believe it. You can't force that on someone as hard as you try.
Yeah, you
It's a
can't.
certain way of life and certain beliefs.
Yeah, and
That makes sense.
some people it just truly doesn't resonate with them.
Exactly. I think I'm one of them.
And I'm not saying this isn't. I don't want this to sound weird that it doesn't resonate with them because a counter argument instantly would be, well, have you even tried?
I believe in like okay,
But
I'll say I believe in God or whatever that is, but I don't believe in the churches and all of that. Like be a certain way or you're going to hell. Like that just doesn't seem right. Like I love I don't know. That's all.
I agree with you.
I think
I'm on
there's
the
more
same
to
boat.
it that they don't want us to know to keep people in check and just because that's just how it's always been and you can't just
Yeah.
change things out of nowhere, I guess. But the people who get it. I think a lot of people do. So it's a bigger thing than.
There's a crazy theory about this all kind of thing is
Mhm.
in some way and it involves space, but
I mean, yeah, it's like stars all.
that the stars aligns right and all this nonsense. It's I'm gonna go really basic because I don't want to go really far down the rabbit hole. But basically, there's a theory that that we're like star seeds and that people are like planted on Earth and there's this whole like we were grown here basically, right? And we're like an experiment for these space people or whatever. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to is then they set up like churches as a like a way to get money and stuff and to steer the people away from actually knowing what happened and being a star seed. I don't know, it's an insane theory. I don't know if I believe it, but
There's a lot.
I think I believe parts of it, but I don't know. There's so many how do I word this? Earth, it would be really cool and I don't know how you do it, but it would be sick to somehow study like the history of Earth and like before before like BC, like before that even.
Mhm.
Like and I don't know. That just interests me a lot. And like all the weird theories about Earth. I don't know how I get a job to be like a conspiracy theory person, but I just want to do that somehow. We're kind of deep into this video, so and this pod, so we're gonna end it for right now. Hopefully y'all had a good time. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, listen to it again, share it again. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, peace out, y'all.